All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're going to be unpacking self-confidence.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and you know what's cool? We've got some fascinating material to dig into. We have excerpts from some blog posts
Oh, cool.
by Teru Nakashima. He's a Japanese self-help expert and counselor.
Okay.
And we also have a quote from Thomas Edison to kind of round things out. What do you think?
Sounds great. I'm always interested in different cultural perspectives on these kinds of topics. How does it differ from maybe typical Western self-help?
Exactly. That's what I'm curious about too. And our mission is to help the listener, figure out how to build their self-confidence, some actionable steps they can take.
Yeah, make it practical, right?
Exactly. And I think Nakashima's approach might be a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be all about positive thinking, like a lot of Western self-help.
Okay, so what's he focused on?
Well, his definition of self-confidence kind of jumped out at me. It's from one of his posts. He says self-confidence is the feeling of trusting yourself and acting accordingly.
I like that. There's action in there, right? It's
Yeah.
not just a feeling. It's about doing something.
Exactly. So it's not just about feeling good. It's about that deeper belief in yourself that makes you take action. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, yeah, he seems to be emphasizing that self-trust. It's a subtle difference, but an important one. It's not about pretending you don't have doubts or fears.
Mm-hmm.
It's about trusting yourself to kind of move through them.
Right.
And this idea of acting accordingly,
Mm-hmm.
that really highlights the connection between confidence and action. They sort of fuel each other, right?
Yeah, that makes total sense. You can't just think confident thoughts. You have to actually do things that kind of back that up. And that kind of reminds me of his idea of groundless confidence. It sounds almost like a contradiction, doesn't it?
It does a bit,
Right.
yeah. What's he getting at there?
Well, he says that you have to believe in yourself even if you don't have any proof yet. It's like a leap of faith, I guess.
So, sometimes you just got to go for it, even if you're not 100% sure.
Yeah, but doesn't that sound kind of risky?
I mean, yeah, it can be.
What if it leads to bad decisions?
Yeah.
Shouldn't your confidence be based on, something real?
I think that's a totally valid concern. But what I think he's getting at is sometimes we get stuck waiting for permission or proof.
Right.
And we never actually get started.
Mm-hmm.
We stay trapped in self-doubt.
Yeah, that's true.
He's suggesting that, by choosing to believe in yourself, you actually make it possible to achieve things.
Oh, so create those real achievements.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. So it's not about ignoring reality, but kind of choosing a belief that lets you shape your reality.
Yeah, it empowers you to create something new.
I like that.
And, he doesn't pretend this is easy. He actually talks about his own struggles with self-doubt when he was a kid. This is a pretty intense story. Yeah, he felt really lost and like everyone was against him.
Wow. So how did he get past that?
Well, there was this moment where he realized that people around him, even his pets, believed in him.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
I know, right?
But how did that help?
Well, it seemed to spark something in him. Like he was finally able to believe in himself because others did.
That's fascinating. I never thought about it like that. It shows how powerful external validation can be,
Totally.
especially when you're struggling. It makes me wonder if this connects to his groundless confidence idea.
Oh, how so?
Well, maybe by being around supportive people, we kind of create a structure for our own self-belief to grow.
Ooh, I like that. It's like their belief in you becomes the starting point.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then as you experience success, you build your own track record. That structure can kind of fall away because you're strong enough on your own.
That makes so much sense. And it's not about depending on others forever, just using their belief to kind of jumpstart your own inner strength.
Exactly. And it seems like Nakashima's own journey really proves that this can work.
Definitely. It's pretty amazing how, our environment and who we spend time with can shape how we see ourselves.
It really is.
Makes you wonder if there are things we can actually do to, build up that self-belief, actively.
Yeah, totally. And Nakashima actually gives some practical tips in his blog posts.
Oh, cool. Like what?
Well, one thing he's really big on is positive self-talk. Literally saying things like, I can do it,
Yeah.
to kind of reprogram your brain.
Okay, so replace the negative thoughts with positive ones.
Right, exactly. It's like getting rid of that inner critic.
Okay, I can see that. But sometimes those affirmations, they feel kind of cheesy to me.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
It can feel weird at first,
Yeah.
especially if you're used to, being hard on yourself.
Right, exactly.
But the cool thing is there's a lot of research that shows affirmations actually work.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could actually change your mindset. You just have to keep doing it.
So it's like rewiring your brain to think differently.
Exactly. And it's not just about like talking.
Mm-hmm.
Nakashima also says your actions have to match your beliefs.
Oh, so it's not enough to just say it. You got to walk the walk, too.
Exactly. He calls it acting as if. Like, pretend you already have the confidence you want.
Fake it till you make it. I've heard that before. But I don't know. It always seemed a bit phony to me.
I know what you mean. But it's not really about being fake.
No.
It's more about creating a new reality for yourself. It's like a practice run for the confident version of you.
Okay, so by acting confident, you kind of become confident?
Exactly. It becomes more natural over time.
Okay, that makes more sense. So you're not denying your current reality, you're just bridging the gap between where you are and where you want to be.
Exactly. And that bridge is built on, like, small steps. He's really big on setting realistic goals.
Oh yeah, break it down into smaller chunks.
Exactly. If you start with something too big, you can get overwhelmed.
Right, you lose motivation.
But small goals, those are achievable.
Yeah, and they give you those little wins.
Which builds confidence.
Exactly. It's like a cycle. You feel good about one win, so you try something else.
Yes. It's like a positive feedback loop. And you know what this reminds me of?
What?
That Thomas Edison quote you mentioned. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about action, right?
Totally.
Okay.
I mean, we can argue about the percentages, but the idea is there. Hard work matters.
Absolutely. And I think Edison's crazy work ethic, that was probably fueled by his belief in his ideas.
Yeah, he didn't wait for anyone to tell him he was right. He just kept going.
It's like that groundless confidence we were talking about.
Yeah.
He just believed in himself and his vision.
And was willing to put in the work to make it happen.
Exactly. And I think that's important to remember. Self-confidence isn't about being lazy or expecting things to be handed to you.
Right.
It's about being brave enough to act, even when it's hard.
Yeah, and celebrating the small wins along the way. It's so easy to get caught up in what's next and forget to acknowledge, like, how far you've already come.
Oh, absolutely. It's so important to appreciate your progress, no matter how small. It keeps you motivated.
And reinforces your confidence in yourself.
Exactly.
Wow, so building self-confidence is really about a lot more than just thinking positively.
Yeah, it's like a whole process, right? Mindset, positive self-talk, taking action, and celebrating your successes. It all works together.
It really does sound like a complete approach.
Yeah,
It really does seem like it's about, like, creating the right environment for yourself.
definitely. Both internally, like we've been talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and externally, like who you surround yourself with.
Right, Nakashima talks about that in one of his posts, right? Like, the company you keep can really affect your self-image.
Absolutely. It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Right, right.
If those people are always negative,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to stay positive about yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. But imagine if you had people who are, like, super supportive and encouraging. That would be a huge boost.
Oh, for sure. Like having your own personal cheer squad.
Exactly, reminding you how great you are.
Yeah, but it's not just about cheering you on. You know, ideally, these people should also push you a little.
Oh, like challenge you to grow.
Exactly. They want you to succeed, but they're not afraid to give you honest feedback, too.
Oh, so it's about finding a balance between support and challenge.
Exactly. People who believe in you, but also keep you accountable.
Okay, I like that. And that kind of brings us back to what Nakashima was saying about, taking responsibility for your own self-confidence. You can't just wait for it to happen.
Yeah, you got to put in the work.
Right. It's about building that inner strength, that self-belief through everything we talked about. The mindset stuff, positive self-talk, taking action, surrounding yourself with the right people. Wow, this has been a really eye-opening deep dive.
It really has.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
Me too. And remember, it's a journey. There will be times when you doubt yourself. But if you keep working at it, that groundless confidence can become like a solid foundation.
Absolutely. It becomes unshakable.
So for everyone listening, think about what you've learned today. What's the one thing you can start doing differently to believe in yourself more?
What if you just embraced that idea of groundless confidence, even a little bit?
What's that first small step you could take?
Maybe there's something you've been putting off because you're scared or unsure of yourself.
Right.
Could you just, commit to doing it? Even if it's a tiny step, and even if you're not totally confident yet.
Maybe it's signing up for a class you've always wanted to take, or having a tough conversation you've been avoiding.
Or even just trying something new, without being afraid to fail.
Yeah. Just go for it. Remember what Nakashima said, you can do it. Start believing in yourself, even if it feels a little, groundless at first.
You might just surprise yourself with what you can achieve.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Hopefully, you've got a fresh perspective on self-confidence. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build.
You practice it, you work on it.
You choose to believe in yourself. And you keep pushing forward, even when things get tough.
That's the key.
So go out there and believe in yourselves. We can't wait to see what you accomplish.